Yeah, man. It's nuts. We live. We live, but I just got my background going. Yeah,
Okay.
man. Uh-oh. Let me push a couple other buttons here real quick, and we should be. One day I'm gonna put this thing on. One day I'm actually gonna put this thing on. I just been too lazy to come down here, play with this thing. But I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
get this. I'm gonna get this thing on Facebook one day. I'm gonna go ahead on and do it.
So it
I'm
plays
gonna
on
go.
Facebook?
Yes, sir. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, people? What is going on? Well, it's a Monday. It's a Monday, and I hope everybody done had one of them awesome weeks or awesome weekends or whichever one you want to put it. It's totally up to you. Uh, on how you ran your week. But yeah, man, got Don Allen finally in the house. Finally in the
Hey.
house. Mr. Black Mr. Black News. We was over there. Yeah, man, like I said, I they called me up on they hit me up and was like, "Hey, come to the breakfast." So I was like, okay, I want to chop it up with you guys, but we'll get it next week. Next, you're gonna do another show next Saturday, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm not gonna miss out. Yep.
all right.
Yes.
Then
Absolutely.
I'll chop it. I'll chop it up with you. I'll chop it up with you coming on this weekend. Well, speaking of which, real quick, I'm just saying, I'm not hating on nobody. I don't want nobody to sit there and go, hey, there he is. He's going to hating on people. But my thought is, uh, we should be able to carry black news a lot farther than what it is if we had some of that money that I know that I just found out that other people are getting that's supposed to be in the black media that don't want to tell nobody about nothing. I didn't know that. I had no clue you could be in black media and you can get a check. No clue.
No,
I'm
no, no.
I'm like,
I mean, there's
oh,
been yeah, they've been doing that for a while. What can
oh.
you do?
Well, I think Black News should start writing some grants. We should get a studio or something together, or I can upgrade what I got here, and we can start really talking about making some news and putting out what needs to go out to the community. Because hey, did you know what's his name? That X guy, Ingram.
Elon Musk?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You know he was in town.
no, I didn't.
Yeah, man. See, that's the
Oh,
type of stuff that I'm talking about,
oh
right?
wow. Wow. Wow.
He come to town, and black folks don't even know it. He got a room. Here he is, a black man talking about black issues. Black people want to. What he act like? Black people don't won't read his book. We won't buy his book. That he
Wait,
that
now who
they
are you talking about? I thought you talking about not Elon Musk. Who are you talking about?
no. I'm talking about what the black cat, the black guy. What is his name?
There's
He's
so many.
yeah, yeah. I have to think of his name.
Okay.
He was in town. The black he got dreads. He writes a lot of books about black issues. I'll
Ibram
think
Kendi?
Kendi
Ibram, Ibram, Ibram X Kendi.
Ibram. That's him.
Okay.
That's him.
Yeah. Yeah. When he comes to town, it's mostly like academic stuff where they're not going to tell a whole lot of people, and stuff, like a small section of their little liberal guilt group.
Yeah, the whole room. I saw the video, and I'm sitting there
Hmm.
going, once again, a whole room for the white people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I, I'm like, come on, man. Y'all can do better than this. When you're talking about getting out media, getting out information and things like that to black folks. You can't sit there and act like we it's hard. It's not like, they swear up and down we can't get a dang on an ID. Come on, right? So
No. These people are out of law. We got to talk about them. The Black Collective, Minnesota, the Minnesota Black Collective. They brought him here for a book signing at Westminster Presbyterian Baptist Church on Saturday the 14th, and didn't really tell. Well, I guess it was for their people there. They probably
well,
paid
still,
something to
man,
come in. Yeah, no, I
still,
hear you. I was just looking at it. I was like,
I,
man, this is,
I would have went, man. I mean,
oh,
I've
me.
read this dude's books, right?
Hey, check this out. Check this out. Check this out.
Uh
I'm
oh.
on my desk. I'm reaching over right here I'm on my desk, literally
Yeah,
right here.
I would have.
It's for-
I've read this cat's books, and this is the thing that I'm talking about. We are, as black folks, unless we're gonna let KMOJ, which again I can barely put up with that crap. Unless the only thing we got is KMOJ, and
yeah, we ain't
KMOJ
got that.
only feeds us what they want us to hear. That's
Yeah,
it. You
yeah.
don't you don't
You
never
know,
have a Second Amendment right black person on KMOJ really talking about guns and how we should fight this gun battle, this gun thing. You don't hear that at all. You
yeah, yeah.
you
You're
you
right.
hear them on there talking about how they're gonna get money, but you don't hear them actually talking about guns and
No,
how we can teach our young kids the difference between guns and things of that sort. There's no gun safety in the black community. There is none.
no,
None.
no, no. And it's really horrible because I can't listen to a lot of stuff, and I choose to, like, at my ripe old age of 29, to listen to like NPR and stuff like that. And I turn to the station, and then they have that Black Entertainment Network. I don't know if you ever listened to them, 93.3. I mean, it's just as bad, and they got to learn how to pronounce the name of the cities in the Minnesota, and because it's a national thing, and they don't know anything about Minnesota, but they have this great, iHeart Radio is broadcasting, and it's really shameful that we can't use some of that real estate or that currency, that on-air currency, to go up to iHeart and say, hey, we need to do this, this, and that, as far as a radio program. And it's unfortunate, but I mean, that's the way things are. Like, you're absolutely right, Rev. When you say these stations are basically mandated to tell what they need or what they want to tell us, they do. And it's all been a part of the of a plan. I don't know whose it is. I don't even know if it's a conspiracy theory, but I'm just wondering, when are we going to get the opportunity to actually expand exponentially into the places where we should be? Period.
Well, they
You
they
know?
don't they don't. I don't think they want to. I
Yeah.
really think that they look at the situation and go that apparently they think, to me, I'm just saying, to me, they act like black folks don't listen to radio. Black folks don't listen to informational radio. I'll put it that way. Black folks don't listen to informational radio. Because think about it for a second. When it comes
Okay.
to informational radio here in the state of Minnesota, we don't have a radio station. We don't have a 1280 Patriot radio. You understand what I'm saying? We don't have
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
like that. We
You're
don't
right.
have,
Absolutely.
you got at all. So and it's not like they're fighting to put something out for black folks at all. You know understand what
No,
I'm
no,
saying?
no, they're not. That battle, that's not even a battle. That's no war battle or anything. That's not even an alley fight, because
Right.
they're not trying to really. And that's been I am waiting though. I was over at the state capitol, and I ran into a couple of these guys that I know they're of Somali descent, and they're decent guys. They they admit to the failure in the system of feeding our future and all the money that went down, and I says, well, why you got what you doing? I didn't ask them why they were here. I was just kind of curious. Who are you supporting? What you supporting? And they're both talking about this $200 million reparation bill for the Somali community in the Twin Cities. And at that point, and I know these guys like I know you. And at that point, I just said, how do you do it? Okay, I don't want to be on the losing team anymore. I said, how can we, the black community, come up and how can we do a package and who do we need to talk to? Can you tell me who you talk to? How did I? And they were listening to the name of the usual suspects. I'm not going to go into details, but I was like, wow, but they're black and they haven't done it here in the city at all. Not that they're supposed to, and I'm not saying that black folks in Minnesota are victims or anything like that. I mean, you know, but still, what's fair is fair. I'm not asking to encroach on anybody's money, anybody's tax dollars they pay in the state, but we don't even have private equity businesses, Reverend Christopher, that can support any mission. The check writers died in the 80s in Minnesota. The brothers that you could go to and say, hey, I want to do this, this, and this. And you didn't have to go through a grant process. You didn't have to wait to a foundation or a state agency to give you some money. It just got done. And now we're so far behind. And I mean, people know this, and I'm not trying to bore anybody on the show at all, but I mean, we know this. My thing is, who we got to spank to fix it? You know?
No, but a lot of people don't know it, Don. A lot of
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
a lot of things that we talk about, and this is the thing that I'm talking about. It's like if we don't say the things they want to hear, right? So we're gonna get on here and we're gonna talk about all of this money that these
Yeah.
people from Feed Your Future just you don't hear anybody else talking about this. Not in the black
No,
community at all, because
not even, not even, yeah,
everybody
you're right.
wants to try to stay cool, right? You got your black pastors. They're trying to figure out, okay, how do we get in? How do we get in with these Somalis? They are literally trying
Mhm.
to position themselves in to get into this money, because there's going to be money that's going to go to the Somali community. Those are just facts. Those are just
Oh,
facts.
yeah.
Even though they have stolen all this money, they've stolen, but somehow, some way, watch, the Democrats are going to find a way to funnel money over to that community. And these black preachers that you see standing with these Somalis are trying to figure out, how do we get into the money? Hell,
Exactly.
you and I just went to a prominent black church that basically trying to put themselves in the middle of this money that's about to drop here in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah, yeah. For harm. They're already over at the state capitol. The superintendent, I just was like, oh my God, I don't believe this. But, like the Star Tribune, they just published this thing about Minneapolis public schools, because of the ICE raids and everything, student assessments might be low this year. And also that in Columbia Heights Fridley School District, all the stuff that they went through, and they need more funding. They need more this. They need more that. But no one's talking about, and even the renter stuff. It's like people, not just black people, but white people, American Asian, Asian Americans, Hispanic Latino Americans have been losing their houses and homes and apartments and evictions for the last 60 years. And the Minnesota State Legislature has never, in the history of Minnesota State Legislature, rushed this fast to put something together to save some people outside of the realm of the people that grew up here, born here, from here. I'm not knocking it. I'm not anti this or anti that. I'm not getting into none of that. I'm just saying that it shocks me that I know that Tyrone down the street can't pay his rent because he lost his job. And he's been looking for jobs. But there's nowhere he can go in the state of Minnesota to really get a nickel. But now you've opened the access for everybody except Tyrone because he's born here. That's his only crime. Born a crime. Trevor Noah. So I mean, like, what the hell? How do you? I'm fed up. I'm just absolutely. Hey, let me ask you a question real quick, Rev.
What's up?
You know all the money they were putting into overdoses
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so I'm looking through the internet, and I was doing a paper, and I just stumbled across it. Minnesota Reformer said overdose deaths in Minnesota stayed the same from 24 to 2025. It didn't go down. Then I said, okay, it'd be very interesting to find out how much money was involved. Okay, 200 million plus in 2023. 15 million went directly to the Minnesota Department of Health for Prevention and Public Health Work. 24 million to the DHS, DID or MDH for the overdose prevention. And I'm looking here. The tribal nations, of course, got 24 million. Safe recovery sites, 15 million. It's well over 250 million between 23 and 25 invested in overdose prevention. 250 million. And you know what? If it stayed the same all those years, which the data, that article, they wouldn't post an article unless it was true, and it does have facts in it. You got to ask who's running this. How does that happen? You would have been better off giving everybody out there on drugs and alcohol $50,000 and tell them, if you don't smoke, if you don't drink, if you don't do fentanyl, and you can stay clean for 60 days, we'll give you $50,000. They still probably would have had $200 million left over,
Yeah,
but you would have had a drug-free city,
yeah.
a overdose-free city. If you could, I mean, they might as well because nothing changed. So then you got to do some aggressive alternative work.
But
So
but
I mean, I'm going. Go
but
ahead.
but here's what they did, Don. All of that money you just talked about was doled out to a large number of these nonprofits, correct? And
Hmm.
then they decided, you know what? Let's put Narcan in vending machines. And that's supposed to help. Let's hand out free needles and things of that sort. Let's hand out free glass pipes and things of that
Hey,
sort.
you gonna love this. I'm a veteran, United States Army. I get this in the mail. Okay, they sent almost all the veterans Narcan. I don't know if you can see that in
Yeah,
the nose spray, just in case we come across someone that has an overdose, or that's how what they did. This is sitting behind my computer on my desk because the chances of me running into anybody that's going through that are probably nil. But I'm gonna keep it there. That's the kind of ideas they had.
I got 2 cans in my car.
Oh wow,
I
yeah,
keep I
it's on
keep
my
two
desk.
I keep 2 cans in my car. So when I'm down there, and especially if I go to the homeless camps, right? And
Okay,
somebody
that makes
somebody
sense.
done fell out. So that's why I ride around with them. But then they take all of this here other money, Don, and they give it to these so-called violent interrupter groups. And these kids are downtown on a Saturday night causing all types of trouble. And these groups
Yeah,
ain't done nothing. Then they
yeah.
turn
You know,
around and they
oh, go
turn
ahead.
around and give it to other nonprofits that build an umbrella, and that nonprofit give it to somebody who is an LLC, and then that LLC gives it to this. If Donald Trump, and this is going to be the one time, this is going to be the one time that I'm going to give Donald Trump the benefit of the doubt. When he said he set up J.D. Vance to be the head operational officer of the fraud committee. That's what he said. Not only that, but he mentioned Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Mm.
They got into the end of next month to bring their butts in here and start cracking heads.
Yeah.
If Donald Trump don't do what he, because let us not forget the reason that ICE first came to Minnesota for fraud. He didn't come here to get the brown man. He didn't come here to chase the brown man up in the rafters. He didn't come here to make brown people disappear and their cars is sitting on a freeway with nobody in it.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't come here to have them kidnapped and then let go of at the Whipple building, and then their family have to go looking for him. That's not what Donald Trump came here for. But that's what ended up happening. He didn't come here so two people can be murdered.
Mm-mm.
His whole mindset of bringing them here went completely out the door. And then the stupid Republicans sent this kid, Nick Shirley, here to Minnesota, and Nick harassed a whole group of people. What has come of it? No. Name me one place that had somebody that's been arrested because of Nick Shirley. Name me one place that's shut down or office that's shut down or autism place because of Nick Shirley. None of them.
No.
None of the daycare that Nick Shirley went and harassed closed down for a week and then reopened under a new name. Period.
Work in the system. Work in the system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
That's a
Donald
beautiful thing.
Trump said they're coming after the fraud. They got until next month, the end of next month, to have somebody sitting in court. Somebody. Or he's the biggest fraud you ever put in the White House. Period.
Mm. Yeah, it's going to be tough to figure out all this stuff that's going on and just this crazy ah the fraud thing, Reverend Christopher. It just they know it's there. They don't want to talk about it. It goes in so many layers and so many people involved. I just think they're nervous. They're scared to even start to unpeel it. And if Amy Klobuchar gets into office, it's really going to get ditched and ducked and hid. That's why I'm thinking like you're thinking. I'm saying, okay, Trump, you need to come up here. You need to do what you said you're going to do. And you need to, whatever needs to happen, because now, what is it? You got billions of dollars unaccounted for. You got people spending $250,000 at a time on it was a fail. It was going to be a failure the minute they signed the line to get the $250 million for the anti-overdose programming. So whoever did that obviously never did drugs. Okay, and so then obviously, and so you didn't have no one in there that knew what the hell they were talking about. They were just looking at it from the outside because these people don't collaborate, and it's a tight knit group of people that just really don't care. You're either on the top or on the bottom. There's no one in the middle. There's a huge missing middle here. And all I was telling you earlier, I had a friend that's an admin and was getting sent around to all these different schools, and he goes, "Man, I went to a Somali school, I went to a gay pride school, I went to mostly boys school, mostly women's school, and then there's nothing for our Black American kids that is even close to an education. In the places that he did go to, he says they're not teaching kids how to uh, thrive educationally. Yeah, the guy told me, he says, this one teacher got yelled at by the principal in human resources for telling a kid in his class, a black boy in his class, that he was going to call his mom. The teacher says, "Hey, you can't say that. I'm thinking about calling your mom, calling your parents." And the teacher actually followed through and called his parents, called the guy out in the hall. The next thing you know, the school is trying to file a formal complaint against this teacher for calling this kid's parents, said you shamed this kid in class. I'm saying that don't make no sense. That really doesn't make any sense. I've called hundreds of moms in front of everybody in the class, and I felt bad, but the system we're going to, man, they're not, the money's gone. There's no money coming in. There's no one here that can direct the money. And the people that are down there trying the nonprofit racketeers that are down there trying to get the money, they'll get it, but it's not going to benefit the people who need it, you know, ever. I mean, I live in a neighborhood now with 2, 3 blocks away, the Speedway on Snelling up there, wherever they literally lock the door. If I want to go in there, and I normally pay for my gas at the pump, but they got that good Twizzlers, some fresh Twizzler liquid, so I like to get me a pack of Twizzlers and some Hubba Bubba bubble gum and chew on Twizzlers and eat bubble gum while I'm typing. And so I'll go in and why is the door locked? This is, oh man, Mr. Allen, we had people stealing from us so much, and they won't put no security here. I says, what? And I look at the store, the shelves are raggedy. You can tell people been coming and just snatching stuff out. They didn't even have no licorice, by the way. But it's been like that for almost a month and a half, where you have to wait, no matter how cold it is, till someone comes around from the cash register and open the door, or customers walking out as you're coming in. And it's one of the most inconvenient things ever. But you look at the level of engagement and I'm in St. Paul, by the way, and Minnesota. And you look at the level of engagement by the city council and the eyesores and all the vacant buildings up and down Snelling and university. And it's like, okay, what are you guys planning? What's going on? Because this doesn't make any sense at all whatsoever. And if you ask them type questions, I had one city council member, she looked at me like I had asked her to take off her shoes and give me her socks or something. And I was just asking, hey, there's a CVS. I know your best idea was to tear it down, but what are you going to do with that? No, that high traffic corner on the corner of University and Snelling. It's on the northwest corner of University and Snelling. And it could be miraculous things. It could be something, let's not talk about another fast food restaurant, but what will you put there that will benefit the community? I'm not talking about a community center or anything like that, but just something that is fits that area that the common man can use, the common folks can use, and just no ideas. There's nothing there. You let the Cub food close. I don't know if you've been over here in the last couple of weeks, but the only thing open on that whole area where Cub Foods is the dollar store and the cigarette shop.
And no, no.
That's it.
Matter of fact, quiet as it's kept. Um, right on Snelling there, right down from the stadium. They got that apartment building, basically drug alley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
Hmm.
to go. I had to go back over there and visit over in that area for a
Yeah.
reason. Um, and
Oh, I believe it because I don't mean to cut you off, but that Lutheran church across the street
yeah,
from down from that
that
apartment building.
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. You can drive by there on a Saturday morning. There's like 10, 15 folks, and they're like on cloud nine. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, and there's no police driving by. Don't stop. No one. Just go ahead, do what you do in the winter.
So
So,
I want to see what the new mayor does with that area over there.
oh,
Because
nothing.
huh? You don't
Nothing.
think she gonna be another
No,
Carter? She gonna be another Melvin
no, no,
Carter? Is what you're saying?
no. I'm saying that that's so far out of her purview that she is not concerned. What this mayor, and I'm going to tell you the future right now. This mayor, I know her. I've talked to her. I think she's cool, but she's not the big picture mayor. She's little things little things, news coverage, move on. Little things, news coverage, move on. And when I say little things that not they'll affect some people at the top, but as far as the lower one third, I mean, there might be a bill here and there that she tried, but this is not the executive order type mayor. This is not the, oh, we got to do this right away type mayor. This
She's
is
not flashy.
not flashy at all. Just kind of a step back. I'm gonna go put on a whole fire suit and hold a hose and act like I'm a fireman to kind of
Right.
promote. And she did that. There was a video of her doing that, and I
Oh
said,
wow.
"That's cool. That's public relations. I get it. Yeah, well, I'm not even mad at you for doing it because if I was the mayor, I demand to like go to the put out the fire with the hose, the real fire while it's happening. Okay, not just to play with it, but I get it." And I understand that's the way they want to roll. That's the way she wants to roll. But again, this mayor is gonna okay, something serious. Say like they want to get rid of the homeless population from the stadium down to Hamlin University on Snelling. Okay, because they're tired of people out there holding the signs on the corner, and
Yeah.
the guy with no legs in the wheelchair sitting right there on the corner. You got to
Right.
give him some money. I don't know why my thumb is up. Like, oh, that's because I went like this. Yeah. Okay. And so she might launch an initiative to clean that up, but even that needs to be closely monitored because you don't want those people back in that same spot. You want them to be thriving, productive members of society and maybe look at that as a part of their life, but they're moved on from that and they're reinventing themselves. And so if that can't happen, there's no need really to even look at it and address it. And so I don't know who in this mayor's office has the logic piece or the design and idea piece or the research or theory piece to move these kind of things out of theory into practice and out of just talking about it to a social engineering piece that's recurrent and stable that rolls because systems only put out what they're meant to put out. Right now, we got a lot of garbage everywhere, as you well know. So, yeah, to make a long story short, this is not the mayor to do a whole hell of a lot
Oh.
for anybody. Not
Okay.
even not even
Then
her people.
I'll take that back because that corner has been hot for a long time, and I thought for sure Mayor Carter would see something and say, I've got to do something with that area over there. Well, with the new mayor coming into town, I thought for sure maybe she would step up and make a difference over there in that area. But I've got a feeling that she's going to be a very quiet mayor over there. Call herself trying to get things done, and nothing's going to be done over
No,
there
no.
in St. Paul. And another thing that I guess nobody really ever thought about to look into, St. Paul also for some of this fraud. Because there's a lot of Somalians that live over in St. Paul. And see, here's the thing that gets me about this whole thing, Don. Because this lady, what's her name? Irim Muhammad. She was one of the
Okay.
people with the feed your fraud, feed your future, feed your whatever
Sure,
you
sure,
want to
sure.
feed. She was, and she's going, so Wednesday, she decided, so this coming Wednesday, she decided to plead guilty. So
Oh
she's going to
no.
plead guilty to $12 million, Don. Not only that, but they've got her mother, they got her husband, they got her two sisters, they got her sister and her two brothers that they implicated in the fraud with this Feed Your Future situation. So
Hmm.
the thing that gets me, and
Excuse
the
me.
reason I want Trump and JD Vance to come in here is because if they come in here and they do a thorough investigation, we're finally going to understand and see. So, because a lot of times when I talk about this, I add all the Somalis in it because look, when you got 300 people, right?
Yep.
300 people that's involved in one group, one set of fraud, then you can't sit there and say that the community didn't do this and the community didn't know that. The Somali community is a tight group of people. Period, point blank. You can say what you want. If you don't know that, then I'm telling you that. So it's just hard for me to believe that a lot of people in this damn community knew what was going on. They all knew, brother. So so that's what I want Trump and JD Vance to come in here and prove the point that more than 5 people, because if you listen to the Democrats tell the damn story, only five
Oh,
people, only 5 people in the Somali community knew what was going on. Well, that's come on, man.
stop lying.
Stop lying. That's what I'm
Five,
saying.
five, 5 people, 500 people.
I'm
If someone's,
no, there was 300 people down in Wilmer. There's 300
oh,
people, just 300 in Wilmer by themselves. Now you come back up here to Minnesota, to Minneapolis, and all of these daycares, all of this autism, all of these restaurants. That's another thing, Don. All of these restaurants that Amy Bach and all of these people had up under their names. You telling me that they family didn't know anything? You're telling me that they family and those people that knew was not getting kickbacks? Come on, man. You can't treat us like we're stupid. And that's what the Democrats are trying to do. The Democrats are trying to treat everybody like they just flat out stupid. Oh, we you didn't see nothing.
no, you didn't see this. This didn't happen here, not on our watch.
Right.
Sure enough, it was right there. It happened right there, and it happened in real time. And they're acting like, yeah. I mean, I hear you, man. It just it doesn't make any sense because the reality of it, there's a deeper layer somewhere, and we're missing something. We're definitely missing something, and I can't put my finger on it, Rev, but it's like it seems like they're supporting a voter bloc of people, maybe a whole bunch of people that will always vote the same way, no matter what. I'm talking about a lot, not just a few. And they haven't even went after these people when I say go after, I mean not the whole community, just the idiots in the community that were responsible for this. But also, you have to go like feeding our future. Minnesota Department of Education. Senator Mark Coran said point blank, the punishment that the folks got for feeding our future and giving all that money away and not checking. This is Senator Mark Coran. This is not me. They were transferred to the Office of Cannabis Management, which means they're high as hell right now. Yes. Okay. They were transferred. Senator Coran told me live on a show that these guys that worked in MDE that was signing off on all this money that were making bad decisions and wouldn't check, you know. Well, let's check the logic first. Let's back up. Let me be objective. I'm gonna go back to my centrist leaning right position. Okay. Let's be nice. I'm gonna be nice.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So
Here we
so I'm
go.
just gonna be nice.
Here we go.
Okay. Rev, thank you very much for opening this feeding center during COVID. And we really need your help. And we go scratch you off $5 million. We know that's not enough, but we need it from this period to this period, and then maybe we'll revisit. Well, we're going to have to revisit as long as the pandemic is here, but we can support you up to $20 million over this 2 year period here. So you're going to go do your thing now. If you are sending in reports and saying that you are feeding upwards to 2,500 to 4,500 people a day. Me, as the person in the Minnesota Department of Education, I'm thinking, I'm thinking we need some positive press because our Our achievement gap is kicking our ass right now. Okay, we need some redirection. I'm thinking strategic communication based off successful community engagement through the grant we just gave for Feeding Our Future to Reverend Christopher. By the way, disclaimer, this is hypothetical. Reverend Christopher did not get $20 million. Okay. Anyway, so because you got people that will run with that and go
oh,
post it
oh
somewhere.
yeah, I know
And
that. I know that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so what they did not do is the media is complicit because the media can follow where that money went. I'm pretty sure that some media outlets might have gotten ad money to run ads for different things. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm thinking. But nobody at Minnesota Department of Education decided to pick up the phone and call up one of these TV stations or radio stations and say, "Hey, Reverend Christopher is feeding 3,500 to 4,000 people. Can we get some news coverage because our grants are working?" Okay, they're doing what they said they were supposed to, what we wrote in the paper, what they were going to. We're going to feed these kids and families 3 times a day. Reverend Christopher's spot is actually doing what, and then I'm going to check on other places. They didn't do that.
No, no.
They didn't. It was like, we can't check on black people because it's like slavery. We're like overseers, and we got all this guilt. We got all this. We've been reading these books about how to be an anti-racist, and we're not going to send anybody over there. One commissioner leaves, another one comes in. One other one leaves, another one comes in. We're stuck with that one now. No one does anything. No one addresses it. No one says, "Hey, I'm sorry this happened. This is what we're going to do to prevent it." So I guess my point is, without being too long winded, is, man, there was a lot of opportunities to expose this a long time ago and stop it in its tracks, rather to wait till all the money was gone and make news coverage out of it, because the news didn't do what they were supposed to do. Neither did the people. Neither did the people giving the people the money from other people. So it's a lose-lose situation on that. And I don't know. What can you
I mean,
it's horrible.
right,
Go ahead.
and at this point in time, only thing they can do is, like I said, go in there, Trump, JD Vance. This is what I would do. I said this a long time ago. If I was Trump, I'm president.
Mhm.
I would send the FBI, the CIA, and any type of accounting managers there are. I would rent out an office building right downtown in Minneapolis, because there's buildings open now. You can buy it. Trump
Yeah.
loves to buy buildings. Then Trump needs to go down there and buy one of those buildings down there, and he needs to plant people right here in the state of Minnesota. And any money at all that is taxpayers' money that go to fund everything should be looked into. And they should not leave the state of Minnesota until every dime can be counted. They set them little peewee boys up in this here Doge crap. Have you seen any of those videos yet?
Which ones?
From those kids, literally, they're kids that Elon Musk and Trump let go through, call himself Doge, and doing away with DEI.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen those videos? That's
I haven't
pathetic.
seen all of them. I've seen a couple.
That's it's flat out pathetic. That's pathetic. So that's why I say I'm going to give him one more chance. I'm going to give Trump one more opportunity to say that he's doing something right. Because right now, the man ain't done a damn thing. And the people who voted for him and running around here with this, Trump this, Trump that, they can kiss my black ass. Period, point blank. I'm going to give him one more opportunity to come into Minnesota and do what's right. I don't understand why these elected officials with all of this power right? With all of these resources, cannot come here and do what is right. These people have literally ripped off. How much of the that when the committee called Tim Walz and Keith Ellison up there to Washington, did you watch any of that?
Nope. I just saw little clips on the news and that was it. I wasn't going into it because I know exactly what was they was going to do, and it wasn't about nothing.
E-
And it
exactly.
was song and dance. Okay.
Exactly. That's what we
'Cause we
do.
could,
That's what
yeah,
we
we could
do.
ask them the same questions. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And instead of saying, you know what? Everyone up there on that podium should have sat there and said point blank, here is the deal. We are coming to Minnesota and we're going to find every dime, every penny. We're going to find every house. We're going to find every car. We're going to find every land purchase. We're going to find every jewelry purchase. We're going to find every Chanel purse that was bought with taxpayers' money. That's what I want that man who's sitting in the White House to say. As a Minnesota taxpayer who have paid my, matter of fact, I don't get money back. My wife and I don't get a dime back. And watch this here also, Don. Not only do we not get a dime, but we pay extra. So what my wife do is my wife has money coming out of her check to pay our extra, right? You understand what I'm saying? Because we know at the end of the year, even though we pay an arm and a damn leg for either for a house, for tabs, and everything else, the government is going to turn around because of the money that we make and want more money. So my thing is, I want some of my money back. As a Minnesota taxpayer, I pay too much in taxes, bro. Too much in taxes to sit back and let people who is not doing anything, who's not working a dime, and this is just not the Somalis that I'm talking about. Don't get me wrong. Bring your ass into these Negro neighborhoods, and I want these nonprofits, every single nonprofit in the black community that gets one dime from the government, I want their books turned over as many times as possible, because they ain't doing nothing. They're not doing nothing for the black community.
And you know what? The thing is, I think that's a great idea. And I think that should happen. But I also should think they should just reroute current dollars. There's enough money on the streets right now that is scheduled to go out between now and July 1st that can be halted and redistributed and some oversight put over it. But that's going to take a think tank. Do they really want to do that in Minnesota? Do they really want accountability? And it's an election year, midterm, right? Yeah, midterm election year, and governor's on the line. A couple other people's are on the line, and it's. I'm disgusted. I'm fed up. I'm asking members of the Somali community how we can do this because they seem to be successful. Because I need to be on a winning team at some point, and this just continues to happen over and over and over and over again. And it's just the voices aren't there. The support isn't there. We lost the check writers. They all died out in, I think, the 80s. And we're boycotting Target.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. That's what I was about to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't mean to jump there. I'm just
No.
tripping a little bit
Go,
behind that.
let's do it. Let's do the boycott. Let's do the Target boycott. Let's do Jamal Bryant. Decide to put say his 2 cents, and then we got the powers to be here in Minnesota who sit there and go, well, we didn't call off no Target boycott and all this here type of stuff. It's just like I said before. We so busy, everybody got to be the boss. We don't even know what the tail is doing at the head of this thing. We have zero clue.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're
And,
absolutely right. What the hell are they really doing? Is the question.
and I question why Target. First off, why you understand what I'm saying? Why
Yep.
Target? Why not Walmart? Because Walmart has done just as much. Why not them? Why not Amazon? Why don't we go after Amazon? But Target, come on, come on.
Mhm. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because Target. Well, it does make sense because it suffices their need to be local, to go after someone local, and they want to go local, and Target's headquarters is here. And Target just paid 10 million, 110 million, I think it was, to exit their offices in City Center.
Yep,
So now there's another big giant office hole in downtown Minneapolis, again
yep.
caused by the lack of protection from the city council, the mayor, the senator, the congress people. And Target ain't got to put up with that nonsense. But here was the thing. Here's what made me laugh, Reverend Christopher. I'm uh I'm reading this Target press release that you get things in your Gmail and just random things. And at the same time, you had Jamal Bryant talking about this, and this. You had the local group here talking about this, that's not over, blah, blah, blah. We're in charge kind of thing. And I hear the Target CEO coming out talking about we're getting ready to spend $51 billion on a upgrade to all the Targets throughout the United States and Canada and worldwide. I didn't read nothing about no Black Lives Matter protests. I didn't read nothing about no boycott and what he was saying. It's like it was like zzz.
Well,
It was a
Jamal Bryant,
steal. That was a
Jamal
steal.
said that they were supposed to be giving up some money though. Target's supposed to be giving up a couple $1 million or something like that. That's why he called
Let,
off. That's why he called off his protest.
oh wow. Well, let Target slip up and make a mistake by giving a certain group in the black community that does not represent every black person in the United States some money. Let them slip and do that. They already have a little bit, little trickling crumbs here, little crumbs here, enough for the people to go on cruises and buy some nice cars. I mean, I can't buy it. My car needs a tune up. And I'm like, wow, must be nice just to go write a check for a Porsche or a Mercedes or a Volvo. Must be
Yeah,
really nice. I
yeah.
would like, how can I'm asking, how can I get in without, I want to do the work though. I don't want to do the fraud. I want to do the work stuff. And it kind of scares them away. But the thing is, it's like, why do we fall into this trap? Why do these black folks trained get mad at Target? I had some people on my social media that says, "I'm never going to Target again." I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" I says DEI didn't help any black people, and the
None.
ones that it did help had a stick so far up their butt that they wouldn't even say hi to you. They were going to concerts with Jay-Z and Beyonce. They was hanging. They was seeing Kendrick Lamar at his house. They weren't hanging out with you hood rats. They wasn't hanging out with no one in the hood. And that's the level of DEI that particular DEI internet built. That's what it was doing. It was festering this really hierarchy of folks that we could never talk to them.
No, no. And then
You
the
know,
the, the 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 very people who call themselves out here talking about let's boycott Target. When Target do cut the checks, if they cut checks, North Minneapolis ain't gonna see any of that money.
no,
They ain't gonna see any of that money. The people who call themselves uh uh willing to walk up and be behind the cameras, they're not gonna see any of that money at all.
no,
We're
not at
not
all.
gonna get that. You're not. No little black girl, 15, 16, 17 years old, is gonna all of a sudden Target's gonna cut a $5 million check, and then all of a sudden they're gonna start learning how to read. They're going to have reading comprehension down. Their math is going to get better, and they're going to start graduating. Some of these black boys who's running around here with these guns, 16, 17, 18 years old, shooting each other. They're not going to stop shooting each other. They're not going to get it. They're not going to have a place to go so they can learn to be a welder, electrician, a plumber. That's not going to happen. Nothing that Target is going to do is going to make those things better in the black community. You're not going to see new buildings on Broadway at all. Jobs are not going to
Never.
be around so these kids can get jobs. That's not going to happen. So what are we sitting here messing with Target for? When we should be, just like you said, Don, talking to the Somali community going, how y'all been able to scam all this money? Because the black folks needs to get in this because we ain't got no money. All of our money is going to some of these black pastors around here who's pocketed that money, right? Who's adding on to their church or riding around in their nice cars.
You're right.
I'm just
Absolutely
saying.
right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it doesn't make any freaking sense at all that they could legitimately Shanghai the black, excuse me, that's I guess that's not culturally appropriate saying Shanghai, but
Oh,
hoodwink the community, bamboozle the community, and just think that we're supposed to sit here and watch this stuff. Just like with that Minneapolis public schools. Give me a break. There's a lot of money being thrown out the window. But
hey,
we, if we- no one will say, no one, that's their friends. They go to the same church. They go to the same grocery store. They eat at the same restaurant. You can't interrupt that piece, and if you come in saying it, they'll get you caught up because they have enough people that on standby in different areas that they could give you the wink and you're through.
yeah.
I've been through it personally. I've been through it with Minneapolis public schools. They did some horrible stuff just because I was asking questions. How do you send 58th graders to a school of 700 where only 31 of the kids in the school showed up on any test? Okay. How are you going to do that? How can you justify pushing kids through when we have their solutions already that are working all across the United States? Why? And they just, oh, you're being toxic. That's not something we talk about. You probably need a restorative justice circle. I said, I got some restorative justice for you. Okay. And it's not in a circle, and it's really unfortunate because you cannot navigate away from the stupidity. It's like this thing, this professor wrote this thing called the Peter Principle. It's like the most incompetent people keep getting promoted. It reminds me, I was in the army. This dude, they kept promoting this dude. I was a PFC. He was a PFC. One week he was a corporal. The next week he was a sergeant. And I went and told the lieutenant, I said, hey, sir, I've been here 2 years. He just got here. And it's just like, well, we forgot. We misplaced your paperwork. And, this is the military. You can't be forgetting because you got to follow through. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Just the whole Jamal Warner and then the local people here. I don't say their names because I'm not trying to give them any credit or valor or
Exactly.
integrity
Thank you very
or
much.
anything. Yeah, because it's like this is what you do. This is your hustle. You can go out there and do that. You're getting supported by a Bush Foundation grant. You're getting supported by this over here because you're doing this. You're in that one political clique. And then if you look at the church that's involved in in some alleged fraud over north for that harm money, those people in the Target protests are the same ones that attend that church. And they're the same ones that, might or might not have benefited off the community harm money. And so when the Department of Health asked this I like the guy. He married my wife and I. Okay. At the God, I can't remember where we got married. Anyway, I'm going to be in trouble if I can't remember that. But it's over in Minneapolis. And Simple Mansion over there on Franklin and Blaisdell, that huge old house over there. That's where we got. But he married us there, and you know, he never called me. He knows that I do a lot of stuff, and I'm not mad at him. But I'm just saying, why get yourself caught up? If they award you some
Exactly.
money and you do good work, you can ask for some more. Now you're at a place where you're not getting nothing else because they're asking what you did with what they gave you in the first place.
That's right.
What did Einstein say? Insanity. You
Uh,
keep doing the same stuff over and over and
over and
over.
over again.
And you can't have pedophiles working on your outreach that have underage kids in their houses with them in their apartments. Girls, don't get me started. I know all this crap. Okay. Over the years, I sat back. I'm like, wow, really? He's doing. Oh, geez. One guy died, so I feel bad because he died, and he was cool. I'll tell you who he is off the air. But man, while he was alive, I was like, I got my fingers crossed. I hope y'all don't get caught up and get sued by one of these parents of these little kids going in and out of that, boys and girls going in and out of dude's crib
Yep.
that the church owns. Okay, hmm. We'll leave it there. But yeah, you got a lot of crazy stuff being buried. And I'm not, for those of you that think I'm talking negatively about the black community, I am sorry for the mean, accurate things I'm saying. But on the other hand, how do you kill a monster without becoming one? You know? That's that monster mentality. These people that snatched all this money from feeding our future, the harm money, the violence interrupters, those are monsters. Those are monster systems that went in there that some people somewhere really trust these group of people because they keep giving them millions of dollars. Then you have the other group of people, the same people doing the same thing, and because they don't walk a certain way or vote a certain way, or they comb their hair forward and the other people comb their hair backward, they're not good enough to perform something that you could actually see them doing in real time. And people might say, "Oh, you're jealous." Yeah, I want to know how they do it because I want to see what would happen if I get the opportunity, you get the opportunity, Reverend, to do the work and actually say, "Hey, this is what we did right here." I'm sorry about that.
You'll be
This
all
is what
right.
we did, and yeah, it's very, it's just it's sickening. It's
Yeah.
more than sickening. You're sitting here, you're wondering what's going on, and you're like, no, this can't be real. This can't be the way the things are. Gotta tell this dude not to call me. This can't be the things that we're dealing with because it's not working out for anybody, especially the kids. You know, and I don't mean to run on or babble, but what's going to happen in 10 years? Let's look at 10 years from now. We're currently pumping out children that don't have and I'm staying in my lane. My lane's education, so I got to stay there. But we're pumping out, pushing through, and passing kids who need more. And it's not the kid's fault. I never blame this on the children. I mean, I Shoreview, uh, South Washington County, Edina, Wayzata, Burnsville, Rosemont, all those school districts got the same kind of black kids we got in Minneapolis and St. Paul, and they seem to be thriving, doing very well. So I never put it on the kids. It's always on the building leadership and the district. So why can't these folks come to terms that what they're doing is not good? What they're what they're doing is not good. It's not healthy. It's not sustainable at by any means because Here's the deal: in 10 years, something's going to happen with the immigration policy where I think this is what I'm predicting, where we're going to get a surge of people. Someone's going to say, okay, we're not doing that anymore. We're not going through the Trump era. What happened when Trump was in office with the ICE and things like that? We're going to have a procedure that's going to be 20 times easier for you to come from Mexico or wherever, Canada, Europe, China, Asia, wherever, and you're going to be able to come to the United States. And they're going to be some trained technical technology type people. And they're going to come here and they're going to take over that whole industry from the American people, especially the Black Americans, because there's not a school out there, Reverend Christopher, that we could take some young 6th to 12th grade boys and girls and say, hey, we're not going to ask you, but you're going to be electricians. You
Yep.
guys here, you tested out for plumbers. You guys here, you tested out to work for the city, somewhere in maintenance or hospital, in a filing or food services. We're going to
Yep.
train you specifically for them jobs while you're taking math, reading, and science here in school. And that's you're going to go to school part time and you're going to work part time. Okay. We, no one's that innovative, because we're not sending kids to no Ivy Leagues. We're not sending them to even the HBCUs, really. A few fortunate Black kids get out, but I haven't heard of, no Black kids going to Brown, Stanford, Yale, Harvard, or anywhere else. So, and if you saw the level of writing that I see, you'd know why. And again, it's not the kids' fault. We took a lot of things out of school, like the Pledge of Allegiance, which no matter what color you was, if you were in that classroom, when the first thing you did is you stood up, put your hand over the heart, and you said the Pledge of Allegiance, period. Made you feel good about your day, made you feel good about yourself. All of a sudden, we can't do this. Oh no, no, we can't. But you can hang all these other flags in the classroom and indoctrinate the children. Okay, I'm just telling you the truth.
No,
I'm not gonna
I
go.
know that. I
Okay,
look, bro.
you had that
I
look on your
know
face. You're going there.
exactly what you're talking about, exactly what you're saying. But I'm like you, Don. I don't blame the kids anymore, man. I look at our community and I say, what happened? It's just like I don't quote Al Sharpton and Reverend Jackson that much at all, but Al Sharpton asked a question at Reverend Jackson's funeral, and the
Mm-hmm.
question was, "What happened to us?" And he's right, man. He's
Yeah.
right. What happened to us? I mean, we were at one point in time a group of people that we can sit here and I throw it out there a lot of times too. We can talk about the Tulsa, Oklahomas, right? We can talk
Yeah.
about the Redwood, Floridas. We can talk about Duraville, Georgia. We can talk about Louisiana. We can talk about Wilmington, North Carolina. Yeah, we can. We can put all that out there. But where did we go wrong when we got to the point that we're like, I don't want to work with someone who looked like me. I don't want to deal with anybody that looked like. When we got to that point, something, man, had just went kaboot. And because of that, I don't want to work with these kids. I don't want to do anything with these kids. I don't want these kids to move. I don't want to work with some of these here little 16, 17-year-old girls that are having babies, that are babies themselves, that don't get the
Yeah.
opportunity to go out and just be a child and then have babies when they're 23, 24, 25. But they're having babies when they're 16 years old, and the minute they turn 21, they're leaving the babies. Now, grandma is the babysitter, is with the kids all the time, and the whole
Yep.
nine, right? And then you got these little sperm-fed boys who are running around here just shooting off into anybody, 16, 17 years old, not ready to be fathers, We're never gonna be fathers anyway.
Yeah,
So we got
never.
all of that going on in our community. We got guns running rampant in our community, and Target is our problem. Target. So if we get Target under control, you're telling me everything I just said, everything we talked about, we're going to be okay. Target is the reason. Target is why things are going so bad with us. I I
Because of
I,
everything
I
that Target did. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, if you think about it, I'm not. I'm just. I'm laughing at the mere thought is that what you just said made so much sense. But there's going to be a population of people that look like us that are just going to damn what you just said because of the DEI. And these people have not read a damn thing. They're going off a popularity contest. And I'm sorry. I don't think Target on University closes till 10 o'clock. I might go shopping. I never stop shopping at Target. I just like to share that with you. But the thing is, it's not a problem. And why are we looking at that like it is? Why do we look at what's the other one? Home Depot. They went after Home Depot, and I'm like, why are you going after these? About the Benjamins. Because if you break them and the people don't want to be talked about no more, they will pay you.
But
Okay.
where's that
They
money go?
definitely will
See,
pay you.
that's the thing that I'm talking about. If Target cuts a check, where's that money going? Anybody ever ask that question? Anybody ever talk to anybody who call themselves a leader of these protests, these boycotts? Where's that money going? Who gets that money? Who the check is made out to who? That's what I want to know. And who gets a cut of that money? Which LLCs gets a cut of that money?
That would be the thing to figure out because that
Right.
would be very, very interesting to know how. So Target says, okay, see, they have something written up. I haven't been able to find it. I am looking for it. I'm sure they have something written up that says that, okay, we'll stop because you can't extort them, but you can say, hey, we will suppress the protest if Target agrees to put the DEI efforts back into place, which means that put the black products back on the shelf, deal with black vendors, and that opportunities for new black and brown vendors to come in. But the messed up thing, Reverend Christopher, is that Target never stopped doing that.
That's what
They
I was
just stopped
told.
they just stopped the DEI stuff, but Target has never stopped doing because it's like Shark Tank. You're not going to get a free pass to bring your garbage into the Target and for sale. They're going to sit you down. They're going to say, okay, how many of those have you sold? Okay. And what is your R&D process? And how much does it cost you to make them? And you got a manufacturer? Target is worldwide. If we're going to do it, we're going to put them in every store. So you have to have the capability of having enough so we can get them shipped out to all the store. We're going to give you X number of dollars off each unit sold, blah, 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 blah. You got to meet these harsh, critical standards to meet a business's expectations because Target is not in the business to give money away. Target is in the business to make money, right? And I think these people just want folks to have a free ride and not do anything, you know? So I mean it's I don't know. We could go head over heels on this because it's ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I done kept you 16 minutes longer than I was gonna hold on to you on
Okay,
there.
okay, well, yeah. Yeah, no problem, no problem. I don't even know what time it is. Oh, I see it's eight. Oh, damn, it's 8:15. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
need to go put the boys to bed because I know they ain't tried to take no bath because they had the day off. 'Cause, Daddy, we're clean. We're clean from yesterday because we didn't have to go to school today.
Right.
I said all the ripping and running that you've been doing. These are only two boys that I know that have not don't shovel no snow at 12 and 14. And I told
What?
my 14, yeah, I told my 14-year-old, I said, you know what? Every time it snowed, I think I was 6. I was outside with a toy shovel doing the best I could do with what I had to work with. Every year, every winter.
Well, I had to pay
And they
mine,
just,
so you know
oh yeah.
they wasn't going, you know, they wasn't going out there for free. Period.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's understandable.
you,
Yeah, well, so I might try that next. I did start giving him allowance, the older one, but he's still kind of slow on, that teenage lazy, I just want to sit up in the room with the cat and the dog and veg
you're
out
right,
and watch television shows. And I was 14. I did the
right.
same thing, but your ass is gonna shovel snow next
Yeah,
snowfall. So,
yeah, yeah.
but anyway, hey, thanks for letting me come on tonight.
Hey,
I appreciate
appreciate
you.
you, man. Like I said, we'll I'll make sure I block off my Saturday. So if we're gonna do a Saturday,
Yeah, I'm
um,
planning on it.
okay, then plan on me being there.
All right, thank you. Have a nice night.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Hey, you have a good one,
bye bye.
Don. Bye now.
You too. Bye.
All right, people. There we go, man. I just want to thank Don Allen. Don Allen also has a show on Saturdays. Comes on at 9:30. We do get on there and we talk about a lot of the headlines, a lot of things that go on in the black community. It's called Black News. It's on Facebook. It's also on here. Usually when I'm on, I make sure I retweet that out. But before we go, I want to address a situation that happened on Facebook. A while back, I was asked to debate. I'm not a debater. That's one thing I'll tell you. When people are like, "Well, why don't you debate me, Rev?" That's like debating a rock. I'm just not a debater. I don't debate nobody. I just don't do it. So this radio personality gives me a call and was like, "Hey, I've got somebody who wants to debate you about reparations." And I'm like, first off, like I told him, I don't debate. And he goes, "Well, it's a female." And I'm like, I don't debate females. Period. Right? I don't debate men, and I'm definitely not going to debate a female. And I'm definitely not going to, and then come to find out it's a black female, right? Who don't believe in reparations for black people. A black female saying this. So I told him point blank, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to sit on white radio and argue with a black woman about black reparations. That's crazy talk. That's crazy. Well, apparently, after all this time, I mean, this has been almost over a year, she's still upset because I didn't debate her on reparations, on why. I was supposed to be the one that's saying, well, black people deserve reparations, and she was going to be the black one who's saying that black people don't deserve reparations. That's crazy. So she decides to come at me on Facebook, say all of this stuff, and then she goes to her page and tries to blast me over on her page. And I mean, like I said, when I see this person in public, and every once in a while, I run into this person in public, I am cordial to this person. Cordial. I hug her. How you doing? The whole nine. No problem. But for someone to hold a grudge because I would not debate them on a radio show that really don't give a damn about the black community? Because see, here's my thing. Anytime you see me or hear me on a radio station, I'm talking about my community. I'm talking about what I can do and what I'm doing to make my community better. This black woman ain't never been on our radio show talking about the community, how she can help the community, what she can do to me, because she's a Republican. She's one of those black so-called Republicans. So I hit her up and told her, whenever you want to come help me in the community, whenever you want to come work with some of these here young ladies that are out here having babies that can't make it to scratch, let me know. Whenever you want to come and be part of what I'm doing in our community, whenever you want to come, see, this is what I'm talking about. See, I don't mind talking and sitting and having conversation with these black so-called Republicans, but a lot of these so-called black Republicans don't do a damn thing for the community. Nothing. She's one of them. So again, the little respect that I had for her, don't have it anymore. I know her and I know her little short-ass husband. He's a pain in the ass. Period. But you're not gonna try to put me out like that. You're not gonna try to blast me like that. It just doesn't work. And that's what she tried to do on yesterday. She did everything she possibly can do to try to drag me in the dirt. But my works speaks for themselves. There's nothing. As long as I'm out doing the things that I do, helping the people that I help, moving the things that I move, moving the directions that I move in, you can say what you want about me. I don't give a flying jack. I know you're not doing it. I know you're not helping. I know you're not a part of trying to make sure things are going right because you're too busy over here being a bed wench. So leave me alone and go on about your business because I don't deal with you. I don't think about you. And the only reason I had conversations with you is because you decided to come over and try to start trouble. Going about your business, which is basically nothing, and leave us alone who are trying to do right and trying to make a difference. But if you want, you know where I'm at. You know where I'm at. I'm easy to find. I don't run from nobody. Anyway, fam, I'm going to leave it at that tonight. Y'all have a good night. More than likely, we will see you definitely on Wednesday. And like always, put a smile on your face. And you know what you're going to do with those smiles. Go outside and smile at somebody so somebody can smile back at you. I'm out, fam. Peace.